Okay, dokie, we're back again with the mage, and we are going to be trying out the scholar bag once again. Let's jump in and see what we can do in some rank runs. So the goal today is to put together a Harold the Hateful Hat build, which is going to be quite a difficult one, but we're going to see what we can do. Harold the Hateful Hat will give us a bunch of buffs along with our opponent as well. But every time we remove buffs, we're going to get crit chance, and when we do inflict self-inflict buffs, we're going to get 40% chance to get regen. It's perfect for the Null blade, so we definitely want to craft this up as well. But also deal 10% of your healing as effect damage as well. So we could go for a life steal angle with that. So I'm going to start off by grabbing a wooden sword. We're going to craft up a shiny shell, or shell totem I mean. But honestly, I'm just going to save our gold for now, so we can roll into the next round. But can we beat down this berserker who's rocking his shields with a frying pan, a little bit of spikes? We could be in trouble, because we do got a set of blueberries and a magic for dummies that doesn't really do too much for us. However, with double weapons, we have the potential to actually pass out, but unfortunately, holy moly, I didn't think we're actually going to win that one. That was kind of nuts. And we craft up Shell Totem, another trophy. But Shell Totem is going to give us a bit of a heal, which is going to be really, really awesome. Now, I actually really want this Goobert, so I'm going to take it. I also kind of want the Wand of Equilibrium, so I'm going to take both of them. And I'd like to take the big old banana, but I'm going to roll. And we can trade up our Wand of Equilibrium for Sir Sand, since the customer card now has a 10% chance to trade as well. We did get a Whetstone. I do want to keep this because we're probably going to go for Katana. The reason why I want to go for Katana is because it is going to be removing 2 buffs if they have more than 20, which actually is perfect for that subclass. And it's also going to be removing a bunch of damage from our opponent as well. But unfortunately, I'm going to sell our stone because I do want to grab this stamina sack so we can place this back in. And yeah, I'm going to venture on with this for now. I do want to keep a Wand of Equilibrium. It's going to be a nice trigger for Goobert. It's going to stack up luck and regen. I'm hoping that gives us regen, because regen is going to heal us up a little bit more as well. Perfect for a Shell Totem to keep giving us some power, potentially. So we got lots and lots of defenses, not a whole lot of offenses. Our opponent does have an Amulet of Darkness, which honestly is going to be a lot of damage. Every time these trigger, there's a 30% chance for them to deal 7 damage. It's just incredible damage, unfortunately, for right now. Now we do a choice to make. Do we go with Fortuna's Kiss? Chance-based effects are increased by 30%. Basically, if you have a chance item, I know this says 10% chance for trade offers, it'll actually just increase that by 30%. So it'll actually give us an extra 3%, so 13% chance for that trade offer, instead of being 40%. So I'm not sure if I really want that. It doesn't really help us out too much right now. We will stack up our luck, but I don't really want that either. Guard Power stacks up regen and empower. I don't want that either. And I don't really want Knife to Meet You as well. So I think we're going to take the unidentified skill and see what sort of craziness we're going to get. And we got Slime Time. Actually, amazing. I do like Slime Time a lot. So I'm going to take our Whetstone. I'm going to take the sword since it is on sale. I will roll once. And we could try to go for King Goobert. But I'm going to take the storage for now. And I'm going to place our little Goobling in like so. We could craft up a Hero Sword and actually go for Steel Goobert, because this setup right now is going to be fantastic because we trigger Wand of Equilibrium every 3 seconds. Blueberries is a nice trigger as well. Broom is probably the fastest trigger, but with a Goobling in between our Slime Time and a Broom, we should be able to still trigger this quite fast as well. I'm going to have to take the extra set of blueberries. I'm going to sell our wooden sword actually, so we can take the blueberries. And I'd like to go for King Goobert, but I'm going to roll again because I do want to find another Whetstone, which we didn't necessarily get. We're going to have to take the banana for some stamina though. And yeah, I'm going to venture on with this for now. So, with our blueberries, we can stack up our mana a little bit faster, because once you get to 10 mana, our Wand of Equilibrium is going to be stacking up Arm Power. But we could actually get rid of this magic for dummies, because it does eat up our mana just a little bit. Which, honestly, giving us 2 max life, is not going to be better than stacking up Arm Power. We're still getting powered up from our Shell Totem, which is going to be really, really awesome. And you know what? It's not looking too bad going to begin a Spectromancer and smashing. Now I regret everything. Prismatic Orb. We could grab a Prismatic Wand, but honestly, you have to have at least 20 buffs to use that to get 5 empower. So I don't really want that. But a Prismatic Sword this early would have been nuts. We could still take it and try to look for a wooden sword. That's a 1% legendary, and it's a 1% godly then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell our customer card and I'm going to sell our spellbook to take it for now as well. So yeah, taking this prismatic orb means we're going to have 6 more mana with 5 mana, so we're going to have 11 mana off the rip. So our blueberries are going to be stacking up our luck, and our wand of equilibrium is going to be starting to stack up our empower. So yeah, I'm going to finish on with this. So we should be in a pretty good spot. And we are going to begin an adventure with a shell totem as well, and a crap ton of stones. So they're going to be stacking up their empower as well. They're going to be getting more block per damage by their stone. But we should be able to start stacking up our empower like madness. Genuine madness. And definitely not looking too bad. We have so much buffs, it's kind of crazy. And we're super defensive with our slime time shell totem. And amazing. Now leather armor on sale for 4. I'm going to grab. I also want this bit of storage. I want our big old banana. And the thing is, I do want to craft up our hold doll. But am I going to sacrifice 2 mana for our shell totem? I think I'm going to have to. There's going to be a lot more power as well. And I think we should be in a pretty good spot with this. Crafting up that hold doll is going to give us more storage. And it's going to give us a bunch of block as well. So I'm kind of happy with that. We'll see, can we take on this other mage who is rocking his Spell Skull Regrow? And a free run's guide, which is going to be inflicting a lot of cold on us. Which is really not great, because slowing us down is one way we're going to lose quite significantly. But our broom should be able to deal some big damage with our empower. 5 DPS compared to our opponent's 1.9 DPS with extra 1 DPS. So I still think we're going to smash down his opponents pretty darn easily with our buff stacking. Hell yeah. Genuine awesomeness. We got a hold all, and we got the trophy for it too. Also, I didn't place our goobling in the right place. Well, first of all, I'm going to take our little goobling. We could take this shield. As a whole item, it's going to give us increased healing efficiency. And we could try to craft up a moon shield. But I think for right now, I'm just going to roll. We do get a spell scroll grow, which I do want to take for that death loss. So we're going to have to take this. I also want to grab a fanny pack to increase the speed on our broom most of all, but I kind of want it on our slime time a little bit more. And I'm still going to roll. We could take Ilum for some more skilling damage, but I don't think I actually want that. I think I'm just going to venture on with this. Now, we're not fully utilizing our hold all here. We should still be able to get 32 block, giving us a chance to get our shell totem to stack up our empower. We should be able to get our mana as well. Also, yeah, I did move our setup around just a little bit so our prismatic orb doesn't give us the mana. Just making small mistakes that could cost us fights, but it's not looking too bad. That's for sure. We got lots and lots of buffs. We should be able to beat down opponents. Potentially. I could beat more though. They are coming back pretty strong. They got lots and lots of luck, big crits, and amazing. Definitely not too bad. Now before I do move on, make sure we place this in the right place. That's exactly where I wanted it. Yeah, I didn't place it in the right place. I will take another little goobling. Do we want more storage? We do got quite a bit of storage. We could take the chessboard, but I'm not going to today. And we do give ourselves a Hunger Blade. And a Prismatic Sword if we want to. And we also got the Badge of Spirit Companion. We can get a bunch of max life. But I think I prefer one of the other 2 spirit animals. But I do want to take our Hunger Blade. I'm also going to sell this too, and I'm going to sell our broom to continue roll. And we do get a mana orb. Now we could have actually crafted up magic staff. We could still craft up magic staff, go for that cupcake staff, but I don't think I want to. I think if anything, I do want to craft up a cupcake gooberts. Now I know we could also have a prismatic orb inside our scholar bag for 30% chance to gain more mana, but I prefer having our blueberries in it, so when we drop down below 10 mana, it can jump back up pretty quick instead. Yeah, I'm gonna rock on with this. Now we could craft up mana thirst to go crazy with stacking mana, but I'd prefer trying to get some big mana buff bombs, potentially. But we'll see. With our Hunger Blade, we should be in a better spot with Vampirism. If we're one of Equilibrium to start stacking up our regen, we should be able to scale up our Vampirism. So honestly, a fantastic combo between the Hunger Blade and the Wand of Equilibrium. Our opponent is inflicting a lot of blind though, but we do got a lot of accuracy thanks to our blueberries. So we should definitely have the advantage. This Prismatic Orb has given us a huge advantage. To be honest, even though they have 16 cold, 7 blind, Amazing. Now, I did say I wanted to go for Harold the Hateful Hat. It's going to deal 10% of our healing as damage, which is nice with a Slime Time Goobert as well. We self-inflict debuffs. We have 40% chance to gain regen, perfect for our Hunger Blade. And also removing buffs, we're going to be getting some crits as well. Let's just take Harold. Now we got an Artifact Stone Cold as well. Be inflicting a lot of cold, which I don't necessarily actually really want. I do want a set of blueberries. I do want our Mana Orb. Let's take some regen and let's take a Slime. And we do get a second Hunger Blade, which I think it's time we sell our. And we're going to have our Herald in this position for now, because removing buffs is not something we're going to be doing. So getting crit chance on it, not right now, that's for sure. But it is going to give us random buffs, which is going to be nice. It's also going to deal more of our healing as damage, since we do have one dark item. And it's also going to be a nice trigger for Mana Orb, as well as inflicting some debuffs with a Prismatic Orb. And I am going to roll once more. And we could go for Light Gooberts. We also got a Dark Frenzy, which is going to be self-inflicting, blind on ourselves. It's also one part of our Null Blade. We could also craft up that Dark Lotus. Dark Lotus. To start removing some buffs as well. But I'm going to grab this fanny pack as well. Light Goobert would be phenomenal, but I'm not going to take it. I'm just going to venture on with this. At this point, I think we do want that Cupcake Gooberts, so we can start stacking up an insane amount of buffs. But we do start off with 15 mana, which is really, really awesome. And it is going to take us quite some time to scale up a big mana buff bomb. But we're going to be stacking up a ton of buffs on both sides. So we're going to have insane Vampirism once again. Lots of power. And a Wand of Equilibrium. If we do get some Prismatic Wand of Equilibriums, we could get insane Empower. But opponent does have a Null Blade, which is actually moving our buff. And it's looking super close. And holy moly. One more smack from that Null Blade, we're going to be in trouble. And we can get our own Null Blade. Hell yeah, we're going to be taking that. We're going to be crafting that up pretty much instantly. And we also want the Scripture of Light. We want the Scripture of Light because it is a holy item and a magic item, and it uses mana to give regen, and our Null Blade is going to be using that regen to be removing those buffs. We're also going to get rid of one of our Hunger Blades in the next runs, and we're not using our Hold All, but I think it's going to have to do for now. The thing is, I really do want to add in a banana, but we have no real space for it. We don't necessarily need this. It does use up our mana if we do use up stamina. You know what, I'm going to keep it. We're going to venture on with this. Let's grab a Scripture of Light in the next runs. And we're going to get our Null Blade, which is going to be probably the best weapon for our Harold the Hateful Hat. But can we take on this Fortuna's Kiss Burning Sword? It's actually a nice little combo with it. Honestly, don't think it's going to be close. They do resurrect, they do get invulnerability, and during that period we don't lifesteal, but hell yeah, not too bad. We got a Null Blade, which is going to be amazing. Another thing is, if we lean fully into Vampirism, we could just use False Life. Since we're going to be using our Null Blade, we're not going to get our Vampirism as much anymore. Since this is a holy item, we could also take By the Holy Light. Also increase the speed of our Prismatic Orb. I think that's probably going to be our best play. And insane. A second Prismatic Orb for even more nuts. I definitely want that. Let's sell our Hunger Blade. Let's grab it. So we got our Null Blade. With our Harold the Hateful Hat, we should be able to start stacking up our crit chance. For every little bit crit chance, for every buff we do remove with our Null Blade, we're going to scale up our crit chance by 3%. So every time this activates and we use up regen, it is going to be removing 2 buffs, which means we're going to be getting 6% crit chance every time this does activate. The problem is, we're also going to be using up regen for our Hunger Blade also, which is not ideal. But I am going to venture on with this. With our Prismatic Orbs, we should be able to start off with quite a bit of mana as well, which should be amazing. And we've immediately ran over regen. Wand of Equilibrium is going to have to pick up a lot of the slack. But can we still keep up? Because we're literally about to get a big mana buff bomb. If we do get it off, we should be in a fantastic spot. And it's looking super close. And holy moly, did we bring it back. Amazing, actually. Now, if we go Katana, we're not going to have any more Vampirism, no more lifesteal. But we are going to be moving buffs like crazy. I think we have to take it. However, we could also take the Encyclopedia of Darkness. which is going to give us a lot of mana, and also inflict a bunch of blind as well. The Scripture Light uses our mana to gain regen. Could be also pretty darn sweet. Let's take both our books. Let's sell our Hunger Blade. Let's roll again. And I do want to protect a little purse, so we can craft up that Katana. The only thing is I can't really have in our Encyclopedia of Darkness just yet, unfortunately. As much as I'd love to, we're just going to have to rock on with this. So everything, all our regen is going to be used to just be removing buffs, which is kind of nice. We're going to also be using our mana to start stacking up our regen too. So we're just going to be constantly removing buffs. And we're also going to be removing damage as well. And you know what? It's looking pretty darn sweet. Hell yeah. So we do end up with a 47 DPS, which is not too crazy by any means. Actually, how much crit chance? 36% crit chance. Once we get a Katana, that should be even better. Our opponent only had a 20 DPS. As for heals, we did end up with a 24 healing per second, so we definitely need to increase that. As for block, not a whole lot of block. So let's see if we can make this crazier. Now we've got our Katana, should be much better. Let's grab our fanny pack. We're going to be placing our 2 books in on it. We're going to roll again. And I do want to grab this bit of storage. Let's grab a set of blueberries. Let's grab a shiny shell for more healing efficiency as well. I don't really want the mage's hat. We already have 1 mage's hat. I'm going to roll again. And we do get our cupcake, as well as a wand of equilibrium. Now the shield will be awesome, but I do want to keep our mana orb, especially since we're going to be decreasing a lot of stamina with the Katana. Or a lot of damage, I mean, with the Katana. There's not more than I want to sell this spell scroll so we can grab our cupcake. But I do want to craft up that Delos. So I'm going to take 1 of equilibrium for now. We're going to take our cupcake in the next rounds. And I'm going to venture on. Also, you know what? Let's take the Undead Amulet as well. That could be something quite awesome. But we'll see. And we should be able to remove a lot of buffs from our opponents. Since we're going to be stacking up a lot of buffs on both sides, if we do actually give them a ton of buffs, we should be able to remove them all with our Katana. And just deal some big damage. And we're very frail right now by the looks of it. We do have a 54% crit chance, which is kind of nice. We're also taking a lot of our own life with our Encyclopedia of Darkness, which is probably why we're a lot more frail. However, we did get the Owl Spear Companion, which is going to be a lot more mana. Hell yeah, it's also going to have a 20% chance to duplicate some buffs as well, which is exactly what I want. But first of all, we are going to be crafting up that cupcake gooberts. I'm also going to grab this potion belts, and I'm going to grab another Scripture of Light. So we're going to have a tougher time getting a big mana buff bomb, but I think it's going to be worth it. Potentially. Maybe. We'll see. I'm going to move on with this. We should be in a pretty good spot. Once we get our cupcake gooberts, we're going to be stacking up whatever buff we have most of. It looks like heat so far, but it is going to be completely random. And we'll see. Can we take on this bard? Definitely so. We've got a cupcake. Nice, we got the achievement for my little cupcake. We crafted up a cupcake goobers. Now let's grab our Undead Amulet. What's it going to be? Amethyst Steel. Honestly, the only amulet I think that doesn't benefit us right now. It is probably one of the best amulets, but doesn't benefit us that much. Let's grab our owl. Let's roll. And let's trade up our card goobert. No, definitely not. I also call that card goobert, which is a little bit mad. Now the thing is, a holy armor is actually kind of nice, because with every bit of holy item, we can generate up a lot of regen from the get-go. Now we can also put our Owl Spear Companion in here, but we'd lose the speed on our Null Blade. But I'm happy enough with that, because 20% chance to duplicate these buffs, 20% chance to duplicate our Prismatic Orbs buffs, and a 20% chance to duplicate our mana. It does seem really nice. Now, if we use our Amethyst Steel with our Holy Armor, we're going to be stacking up Arm Power. We're probably going to be stacking up Empower with our Cupcake. But honestly, I think I'd rather get that heat. Going infinite with speed would be nuts. So we could take the Eye Lamp then. So yeah, I'm going to venture on with this for now. I'm going to take the Eye Lamp if we do get a bunch of heat from the very beginning. But it is going to be completely random. And it's either going to be regen or luck that we're going to be stacking up with our Cupcake. Or spikes. Or mana. It's just going to be completely random. The only thing is, it's not looking too great for us, and unfortunately we did end up getting smashed. Just a little bit. And we could grab another Gooberts. Let's grab our eye lamp. Let's grab this little bit of storage. Do we want the holy armor? It is more defenses with our armor steel as well. I'm gonna take it. Since it is on sale, we can always sell it back. I'll take another 7 blueberries, and I'm gonna roll once. Now, Freedom's got to ice. We could start inflicting a bunch of cold. I don't necessarily want that. I do, however, want this 20 back. And I'm still gonna roll. Now, second mana orb, which means I do kind of want to craft up a moon armor. Which I'm definitely gonna be crafting up this moon armor. And you know what? I did buy the eye lamp, but I want to sell it. Along with a customer card. Let's grab a bit of storage. Yeah, I'm going to venture on with this. I did place our spell scroll to grow up between our butt of weapons. So if we do go crazy on stamina, we should be able to regenerate quite a bit. And I think we should be in a pretty good spot with this. We're going to grab our mana orb. We're going to craft up our moon armor so we get an insane amount of block from the get-go. So we can survive for a little bit longer. And just go absurd. Potentially. Giving us time to remove buffs from our opponents so we can scale up our crits, deal some big damage, and you know what? It's definitely not looking too bad. Hell yeah. How much crit chance do we have? 87%. Definitely awesome. And we got the achievement for crafting up a moon armor. Let's grab this. Let's roll. And yep, I'm definitely going to be grabbing this Gin Slam. Let's roll again. I do want to grab this bit of storage. And I kind of want to grab this Undead Phenomena as well. But I'll be back in a second while I pretty much sort our whole inventory out once again. The funny thing is, our positioning right now is super ideal with this. Reason being is we can get so much block from this, we can get some power. The Cupcake Goobert's not being as valuable as much anymore. Especially with a Herald the Hateful hat being in this position. It's pretty good this way. I also don't start off with as much mana with a Prismatic Orb in this position, but I think I'd prefer grabbing as much block as possible from the very beginning. Cupcake Goobert can be sitting up here for now as well. Prismatic Orb's slightly better, but they should be okay. And here for now, I do want some dark items underneath our Herald the Hateful hat so we can deal a little bit of extra damage as our healing damage. But our Cupcake Goobert is not going to be the most ideal spot. It's going to be up here for now, really making use of this hold all. Not so much. Since we're going to have our Amber Steel in here, we're going to have our Owl Spirit Companion target as well. So we do have a 20% chance to activate it. 20% chance to get more Empower, and we should be able to start off with an insane amount of block. So I'm going to venture on with this for now. Mana Orb in here to be targeting pretty much our Jin's Lamp, and that is a Molten Greatsword. We got 13 Empower, and yeah, we're going to go infinite on Empower. We might actually start stacking up our mana though, but if we do stack up mana, we do get a big mana buff bomb. So either way, it's going to be some big damage. And you know what? Not too bad. Definitely not too bad. Let's grab you. Another Amber Steel. Definitely not, unfortunately. Let's roll again. And we could grab a second Moon Armor. And we could also grab ourselves this Corrupted Crystal. Just for a small bit more healing damage as well. I don't think I really want that. I will take this stamina stack. We could take another one of Equilibrium to start stacking up our power a little bit more as well. Which, you know, I'm kind of done for. 3 ones. Yeah, we're going to move on pretty darn quick here. And we're going to be trying to lamp as well, but the problem is we do have finite amounts of block. 300 is pretty decent. We pretty much instant activate our Mana Orb, which is amazing, because then we can lamp our Katana pretty easily. And it's going to do insane damage. Our opponent is actually answering back with a lot of Hammer Dagger action. They got lots of lifesteal. But can we still keep up? Hell yeah. Definitely amazing. Also, this Amulet of Alchemy is not really doing too much for us. Do we take our Cupcake? It is going to be another magic item. It does give us more buffs. It is pretty slow though. I don't think so. Heart Container on sale would be nice too. I'm not going to take it. I will grab this though. Amulet of Life is actually kind of nice too. I will take a potion buff. But I do want to roll. Last thing I'd love to find is one more Prismatic Orb. Can we find that? Or do we just take 15 more block? We sell you. We roll again. And we finally got ourselves an actual scroll. We haven't seen any of the high value scrolls. I was hoping to find more of these Blessed Impurities, more Dark Frenzies. And honestly, that's a huge problem I find with Harald the Hateful Hat. If you want to go for Null Blade, you do need to find an epic and a godly scroll. And we only seen one of them. So it is going to be huge RNG factor, because if we did get the Dealt Lowest, we'd also be removing buffs with that too. So we're not going to be taking our scroll. We're going to be selling, honestly, some regen. Some regen to grab our Bloody Amulet. And I think this is going to be a fine setup. Harald the Hateful Hat, Battle Mage type builds with a Cupcake Gooberts with a Moon Armor. Now honestly, I think shielded with the Moon Shields with the Moon Armor, instead of going with Gooberts, would be probably more high value. And also getting your Spell Scrolls, which honestly we didn't find too much of, unfortunately. Grab more Encyclopedias means inflicting a lot more blind as well, keeping us healthy, and maybe going for light Gooberts with a bunch of Encyclopedias of Darkness. I am always going to name this wrong. Would be kind of a fun build as well, inflicting an insane amount of blind. And also going for Prismatic Sword with a bunch of dark items as well. So the Prismatic Sword could be genuinely awesome with the Harald the Hateful Hat, because you would be inflicting a insane amounts of debuffs. You won't get the crit chance, but you inflict those debuffs, and you also get the damage dealt as healing as well. So it could be a nice little combo with that too. But anyways, let's go and see if this is going to be good enough. Can we actually win out? We'll have to see. We are going to begin a Water Elemental Mage with a crap ton of mana generation, especially with the Mana Mastery. They're probably going to go for a big mana buff bomb and get tons and tons of buffs that way. But the more buffs they do have, the more we can take away with our Katana. And we're stacking up our own mana, which shouldn't be too bad. They are going to be trying to slow us down quite a bit, but I think we should definitely have the advantage. That is for sure. It's going to take quite some time to get their coal stacked up, and that's 122 crit. And you know what? Amazing. Definitely amazing. I also think the Jin's Lamp with Harald the Hateful Hat is probably going to be necessary. And we did end up with a 77.1 DPS. It definitely could be increased. How much heals did we have? 43 healing per second is actually pretty decent. Vampirism being the vast majority of it. If we stack up more Vampirism, we get a lot more heals. And then on top of how much block do we get? 37 block per second with about 340 block gained, which is not terribly bad. So we're kind of in between block and healing. But anyways, we did survive 4 days left. Let's go and see just how much rank points we manage to get. Plus 30. Rank us up quite a bit. But I am going to leave it here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribing. And I hope to keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Can we deal with a mage with a Null Blade? And a Snow Stick and a Water Elemental? It's going to be a lot of cold on us. Again, slowing us down is going to be the worst way, or the best way to beat us. Because if we don't activate our items, we just straight up lose. Makes sense, right? But we're getting our power stacked up. We're actually stacking up Vampirism. And you know what? It's kind of definitely RNG this build. Whatever we're stacking up, to be honest. And can we take on this Spectromancer with some crazy Owlspirit companions? They're going to be trying to duplicate the Prismatic One's buffs, which is kind of nuts. But more buffs for us means more damage. And hell yeah, not too bad. And finally, can we take on the big old Busted Blade? Now, they do have a Dagger rune. On hit, 50% chance to gain Vampirism. It's one of the new runes. I think it's the only new rune. But the big old Busted Blade is going to do some big old damage. But can we actually outpace it? Potentially. They got lots of buffs. And hell yeah, we definitely can.